to bring in our senior national correspondent, Brian Entin, right now. Brian, I want to start with you with something very positive, sort of a silver, bright lining in this terrible story, and that was that Kaylee would have been an aunt today. Her sister, Olivia, had a baby this morning at 4:21 a.m., and Olivia named that baby Theodora MaddieKay Stevensen. So we've got some of the pictures we want to show you, shared by the family. But this is, you know, it's heartbreaking that this little girl's middle name is MaddieKay, after, of course, Maddie Mogen and Kaylee Goncalves, her sister. And there's Steve Goncalves cradling his new granddaughter. I just want to get your thoughts on that, because it's just a positive way to start our conversation.
Yeah, it brought a smile to my face today, Ashleigh. I don't think a lot of people realized that Olivia was pregnant through all of this. You know, when we interviewed her, when we talked to her, it's not something, obviously, she was talking about much with everything going on. But behind the scenes, I would have conversations with her about how it was going. And she was going to have to get another doctor in Idaho because she lived back in California. And I'm just so happy to see that she had the baby, and that, you know, that they can have some positivity right now, because with everything that they've been through. I mean, just look at that face, a beautiful baby. So let's just hope that this brings them some joy with everything that they've been through, Ashleigh.
It is just good to report some joy in this story, and then to know that her name is going to be Theodora MaddieKay. MaddieKay, all one word, MaddieKay, so that this little child will memorialize her aunt, who she'll never have met, which is just devastating. I do want to ask you about some of the comments that some of the locals have made regarding this news today, that the home is going to be demolished and that there'll be a memorial. Many of those people said that they were concerned about it being demolished soon, which is what our university source said. They want to make sure that it's not demolished too soon. They want it gone, but not too soon. And I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so I'm told, I don't have a specific timeline either, but I'm told it's going to happen sometime this semester. When I first heard the news today that it was going to be demolished, I thought, okay, maybe after the trial, but it is apparently going to be this semester. You know, I just personally felt a sense of relief having stood out there for so much time. And what I don't think people always realize is that the house is very, very close to the campus, really right across the street. It is surrounded by student housing, by apartments, by townhouses, and by other houses, all occupied by students. And there are kids walking in front of that house all day long to go to and from class. And it's just an eerie feeling. And even when I was out there, it was like people didn't want to look at it and be reminded of what happened there over and over again. And I really do think the only way to heal from that is to take the house down. I mean, you can't ever imagine anyone living in that house again. And, you know, kudos to the owners for donating it to the university so they can start that process.
Right. I mean, that's huge. What an incredible act of, you know, magnanimous nature to do that. Then there's this other side, that the reports are that TikTokers are coming out and doing these ridiculous and frankly just obscene dances in front of the house and taking these selfies and posting them to TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, that's disgusting. It's one thing to drive by. I mean, I get it. People are curious, especially when I was there early on. You know, people who lived in the area would just drive by and look out the window. That's one thing. But for people to be dancing outside the house, for people to be driving there to take pictures and selfies outside that house, again, it becomes a distraction. The university in their statement today talked about that, the fact that there are people that do these kinds of things. And I think that's just another reason that the house has to come down. There'll be a beautiful memorial on campus. We can remember the victims without having to remember exactly what happened in that house every single day, with it being right there on campus. And by the way, they did the 3D imaging inside the house. We were there when they did it outside. It's like the best technology. They have the measurements, they have the full 3D photos, so the jurors will be able to, you know, see what the house looked like that way.
Yeah, I mean, I still have my concerns, having covered so many trials where there are jury go-sees to crime scenes that have been preserved for years. So I do have my concerns in that respect. And if that's a benefit or a loophole that can be exploited by the defense, it seems it's an unnecessary one, other than the healing, which is critical as well. One last question, Brian, and that is that the university president has said that he wants to make students involved. He wants them to be involved in the redevelopment of this property at 1122 King Road. The healing garden and the memorial, I think, is what's planned, for the campus. But what do you expect that they might even be able to consider doing in this, this residential neighborhood?
Yeah, I mean, a park might be nice there. Again, it's an area where a lot of students are walking back and forth because there's a big apartment building right next to it. You can make it into a beautiful park. I'm not sure that people will want to live in that spot again. But I think the bottom line is just the house coming down. It is going to help people heal there. Again, just having been there, the feeling of living in that area with that house there, you can't get past it. Even when you're outside, you know how it is when you cover these things, Ashleigh. When you're outside, you can't help but constantly think of what happened inside that house. And I think the only way to, take away that pain is the house just has to come down.
Yeah. I remember seeing it in the Cleveland House of Horrors. They brought that house down. They brought it down in Connecticut, where Dr. Pettit lost his wife and daughters. It happens, and oftentimes it is a healing result, the memorial that's left behind. I just wanted to mention the 4 names of the victims in this case, since we're talking about their home. And it's Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogan, Entin Chapin, and Xana Kernodle. 4 beautiful kids in the prime of their life. And all of this hopefully will lead to some justice for these 4 victims and their families. Brian Entin, thank you for that. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Ashleigh.
Still to come tonight, there is... Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.